Have you ever wondered how anyone could survive a winter without electricity, natural gas, or modern heating systems? For most of human history, surviving winter wasn't a temporary inconvenience. It was a normal part of life. People didn't flip a switch or turn a thermostat. They relied on knowledge, routine, and preparation passed down over generations.
Welcome back to True Preparedness, where we focus on real-world readiness, self-reliance, and practical skills that still matter when modern systems don't.
And that's what makes this worth talking about today. We live in a time when heat, fuel, and power feel permanent, until they're not. Winter storms, grid failures, fuel shortages, or even something as simple as a broken furnace can change things fast. Looking back at how people stayed warm centuries ago isn't about going backward. It's about remembering what still works when modern systems fail.
Medieval people lived with far less than we're used to, yet many of their methods remained in use for hundreds of years because they worked. In this video, we'll look at how they stayed warm and what lessons still apply if we ever find ourselves pushed back to simpler conditions.
Now imagine a modern version of that reality. It's the middle of the night. The power's been out for hours. The house is quiet, and the temperature has been dropping steadily. Your furnace won't restart. Your phone battery is low, and help isn't coming until morning, if roads are even passable. That's when preparation stops being a concept and starts becoming a skill. Medieval people lived with that reality every winter. They didn't wait for comfort to return. They built systems that worked without it.
One of the most important ways medieval people stayed warm was by eating more calories during cold weather, especially from fat and protein. Cold exposure increases the body's demand for energy, and people naturally craved warm, hearty meals. Stews and soups were common because they were filling, warming, and easy to digest. Fat was especially valuable because it contains more energy per ounce than any other food, 9 calories per gram, compared to 4 for carbohydrates. But more importantly, fat burns slowly. It releases energy over hours instead of minutes, which meant warmth lasted longer, especially overnight. Protein was also essential for maintaining muscle, joints, hormones, and a strong immune system throughout the winter, when illness and injury were harder to recover from.
What's interesting is that this still applies today, even though most of us don't think about food as a heating tool. In cold conditions, your body burns calories faster just to maintain core temperature. If you undereat in winter, especially during outages or emergencies, you'll feel colder, weaker, and more fatigued. Modern diet trends often push low-fat or low-calorie eating year-round, but winter isn't the time to starve your body. Warm meals, healthy fats, and adequate protein help your body generate heat naturally, even if your home isn't as warm as usual. Bone broth, soups, stews, and foods that digest slowly still make sense. Not because they're old-fashioned, but because they work.
Eating more food in winter was only possible because people stored food ahead of time. Root cellars allowed vegetables and fruit to last for months in cool underground storage. Grains were labor-intensive to grow, but they preserved extremely well. Meat was salted, smoked, or dried. Vegetables were pickled or fermented, and milk was turned into cheese whenever possible. Food storage wasn't optional. It was survival.
Today, we're used to grocery stores doing the storing for us. But when deliveries stop or shelves empty, that illusion disappears quickly.
Medieval people didn't store food out of fear. They stored it because winter was predictable.
The lesson here isn't to hoard, but to plan. A well-stocked pantry, freezer, or shelf-stable food supply means you can eat properly when it matters most. Calories stored ahead of time are warmth stored ahead of time.
Sugar was rare in medieval times and highly valued. Most came from fruit or honey, and it was burned off through constant physical labor. In contrast, modern diets are flooded with cheap, refined sugars. In winter, our bodies naturally become less insulin sensitive, meaning sugar affects us more strongly.
As activity levels drop and sunlight decreases, excessive sugar can contribute to fatigue, depression, and metabolic issues. Medieval diets avoided this problem simply because sugar was scarce. This is a big one today. When we're cold, tired, and stuck indoors, sugar feels like quick comfort. Sweet drinks, desserts, snacks. But those spikes don't help you stay warm long term. They lead to crashes, mood swings, and weaker energy overall. Healthier winter options still exist. Dried fruit, honey, maple syrup, or molasses, used sparingly and paired with fats and protein. That combination provides steady energy instead of short bursts, followed by exhaustion.
Warm clothing was essential for capturing body heat. The most important part was the base layer. Medieval people used linen or silk for undergarments because they pulled moisture away from the body and remained comfortable in different temperatures. Wool was typically used for mid and outer layers, and in extreme cold, leather and animal furs provided excellent insulation. Wool is especially interesting because it continues to insulate even when damp. Unlike cotton, which traps moisture and pulls heat away from the body, wool creates air pockets that retain warmth. That's why wool clothing has remained relevant for centuries and why modern cold weather gear still relies on the same principles. These materials were durable enough to last decades, sometimes passed down through generations.
What's interesting is how closely this matches modern cold weather science. Moisture management is still the key. Cotton fails because it holds sweat. Linen and wool, especially modern merino wool, still outperform many synthetic blends. Layering works because it traps heat and allows you to adjust as conditions change. Staying warm isn't about one heavy coat. It's about managing moisture, insulation, and airspace around your body.
Nighttime was the most dangerous part of winter. As temperatures dropped and activity stopped, the body lost heat faster. Families often slept together in one bed to combine body heat. Another common method was heating stones or bricks in the fire, wrapping them in cloth and placing them near the feet to provide warmth throughout the night. Mattresses were often filled with straw, which provided insulation from the cold ground, but required regular maintenance.
Sleeping warm is still one of the most overlooked preparedness skills. You can tolerate cold during the day, but if you sleep cold night after night, your body breaks down. Immune function drops. Morale suffers. Decision-making gets worse. Modern equivalents are simple: insulated sleeping pads, hot water bottles, proper blankets, and shared warm spaces. You don't need luxury. You need insulation and planning.
One thing medieval people understood well was redundancy. They didn't rely on a single heat source, a single food supply, or a single solution. Warmth came from layers of systems working together: food, clothing, shelter, sleep, and routine.
That mindset still applies today. Preparedness isn't about having the newest tool. It's about having multiple ways to meet the same need.
When modern infrastructure fails, whether temporarily or for longer periods, it pays to understand how people once lived without it. These old methods weren't primitive. They were refined through necessity and experience.
Preparedness isn't about panic or fear. It's about remembering that humans have solved these problems before, and those solutions still work. Learning them ahead of time gives you options, confidence, and resilience when conditions change.
The past reminds us that comfort is fragile, but knowledge is durable. And the more we understand what worked then, the better prepared we are for whatever comes next. Thanks for watching True Preparedness. Our goal is simple: to help you build real-world readiness, self-reliance, and confidence before you ever need it. If you found this video useful, take a moment to like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who values being prepared. We post new videos regularly focused on practical skills, tools, and mindset that still matter when modern systems don't. We'll see you in the next one.